Good evening, everyone. This is the Monday, August 12th, 2013 meeting of the Planning and Development Committee. Welcome. We have a quorum. And the first thing I need is a motion with regard to the minutes of July 22nd, 2013.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay. First item is P1, Ordinance 87013, granting a special use for a commercial indoor recreation facility at 2025 Dempster Street.
Yes, Madam.
You want to go ahead? Alderman Turnham?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Do we have to? All in favor? Wait, no, wait, hold on. Just for introduction. This is for discussion.
We have staff here. Melissa Klotz of the Community Development Department is here. If you have any questions, I believe the applicant is also here. Would be happy to answer any questions.
And Alderman Braithwaite has expressed his desire to discuss this. Alderman Braithwaite, would you like to come forward?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Peter Braithwaite, Alderman for the 2nd Ward. Just here to voice my support for item P1, the ordinance granting the special use for the commercial indoor recreation facility at 2025 Dempster Street. I've had an opportunity to meet with the applicants, and I'm really excited about the positive presence that they're going to bring to the 2nd Ward, especially the Dempster Dodge area. In addition to that, I've had an opportunity to meet with our residents at a 2nd Ward meeting to share the idea, as well members of the business community, particularly the West End Business Association. So one of the recommendations that I'd like to ask the committee to consider is suspension of the rules. The property in question is vacant. There is a timeline that's associated with this decision just based on the need to complete construction in time for the soccer season. The applicants are here and they will kind of explain in details the financial consequences in the event that they don't get the space built out with your approval this evening. So, thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Fisk?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a real quick question. When is our next City Council meeting? So if we don't suspend the rules tonight, when would this?
September 9th.
So it would be almost a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can have a presentation by staff? Shall we, if the committee desires?
Ms. Klotz can make this a brief comment.
Good evening, honorable members of the City Council. Melissa Klotz, Interim Zoning Administrator. The property in question is 2025 Dempster Street. It is located in the I-2 district between Dodge and Hartree. The property is currently a large vacant industrial building and is surrounded by many commercial and retail uses. The applicant is looking to utilize the facility as an indoor commercial recreation facility, which would provide a practice facility for current Evanston residents who are part of the Evanston Soccer Association. The site would be utilized for groups of 30 to 40 children at a time, ages 7 to 17, and would be utilized for practices, which means it would be a drop-off and pick-up location only. There would not be a need for substantial parking anywhere at the facility. The proposed drop-off and pickup locations would be located on Greenwood and would utilize an access easement across the rear of the parking lot through a well-lit path. The Public Works Department has indicated that some of the street parking that is on Greenwood could be labeled as a drop-off only area. And the site would mostly be used when the surrounding neighborhood businesses are mostly closed. Therefore, it would not negatively impact any of those businesses.
Any other questions from the staff? Would the applicants like to speak?
Good evening.
Matt Tobin, President and Board of the Board of Directors of Team Evanston, Evanston Soccer Association.
Lander Brown, Vice President, Team Evanston, Evanston Soccer Association.
Do you have a statement or anything you'd like to share with us? I think Alderman Braithwaite said that you might have some information.
Yeah, we've been, as an organization, been looking for a space in Evanston to use for the 650 kids in our program to use for indoor training for quite some time. We feel we found a wonderful space here at 2025 Dempster. It services our needs, and it certainly services the needs of our community. Many of for the years that we've been conducting indoor soccer training for our program, we've been sending kids up to Highland Park, down into the city of Chicago. And in addition to, obviously, the strain that puts on our families of our program, it also takes dollars away from the community within Evanston. All the businesses that take advantage of the families that are there for practices Monday through Thursday takes money away from our community. We feel we want to keep that here. We'd like to be able to keep our program here, not only our outdoor practices, but now our indoor practices as well. One thing I'd also like to mention, I'm not sure if it was provided to you before, is that we provide roughly $75,000 of financial aid to players within our community to be able to play soccer with our program on an annual basis. And we know that that's obviously something that we'd like to continue to do every year as well. And being able to have an indoor space and a footprint here in Evanston will allow us to develop our program more, make it a more attractive program to the youth within our community, and then also be able to provide further opportunities that we can develop within Evanston, whether it's with ETHS and providing some sort of tournaments or additional clinics and training that we can provide other children within our community that are not currently part of our program, and being able to provide that opportunity is something we'd like to do in the future as well.
Okay, thank you. I have several aldermen. Alderman Wilson? Oh, I thought you did. Alderman Grover.
Thank you, Alderman Nguyen. Thank you, Mr. Tobin, Mr. Brown. Do you get the sense that for some of your families that the logistics of traveling to Palatine or Highland Park, I don't know if you go to Palatine anymore, that was mostly for games, I think, when I had kids.
Yeah, now all the indoor games now every winter, that's basically from December through March, are in Highland Park, and all the training is either in Highland Park or in the city
Chicago.
along Clark and Peterson.
And do you get the sense that the logistics of traveling to Chicago or to Highland Park is a barrier for a lot of your families who just, it's too complicated to either arrange carpools or it's just not as convenient as you'd like?
Absolutely. We know that there are many families within our program that probably shy away from taking part in our indoor program, which we feel is vital to the development of our players and our development of our teams. And we know that many of the reasons why they're not participating with the same percentages in indoor is because of the logistics of getting to the training or the games during the wintertime.
You do lose some families, some players for the indoor season, for the indoor training?
I'm sorry?
You do lose some families or players during the indoor training season?
Yes, we do,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
And if I could add, it is the winter part of the year, so the actual transportation out to Highland Park and to Chicago is quite prohibitive in the winter during some of the inclement weather.
And at a recent recreation huddle, we discussed the lack of indoor play facilities, needing more indoor space, not just for soccer and formal training, but just for indoor play. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just to follow up, we lose probably about 25% of our players during the indoor season.
And not all attributed to soccer burnout, I'm guessing.
We don't think any of it's attributed to that.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Holmes.
I'll wait because I wanted to move and I think other people want to maybe make comments, so.
Okay. Then Alderman Wilson.
I guess, first of all, I'll just make a disclosure that one of my children does play with Team Evanston. But I can, I guess, attest to the fact that not everybody is interested in driving to Highland Park and sitting in a parking lot for 90 minutes. I have the advantage of having 900-page city council packets to review for my 90 minutes. But it is a deterrent, and a number of the families who have participated over the years, we have to work with them to make sure that everybody has carpools at all of the levels. And I think it's a great opportunity to have these practice facilities in town. It'll open up the doors for a lot more participation and make it easier for people to get there and practice.
All right, Alderman Tendon.
Actually, I'll defer to Alderman Holmes. We were thinking alike.
Oh, excuse me, Alderman Rainey, I just saw your light. All right.
What is the ownership status of the building?
The building is we will be leasing the
No,
building.
I mean right now. Have you
privately owned.
signed a letter of intent or anything?
We have signed a letter of intent, and we are currently in lease negotiations right now.
So there's a contingency involved with. Are there? How long has the building been vacant?
I don't know the exact date that the building has been
For a
vacant, but
while.
it's been vacant for a long time.
So there aren't people standing in line to get in there, probably.
That is correct. This is kind of a mutually beneficial
So here's the
project.
deal. I want to do a full disclosure here. I am going to support this. I was not going to support it in the past because I was very concerned about the special use in a district that provides for, very intense use. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to support it way before I came to the council tonight. However, I did not know there was going to be a move to suspend the rules. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. So could you explain that clearly? I mean, if there's nobody standing in line to get the building, and it's been vacant for a long time, I would think the owner of the property is probably on bended knees begging me to rent it. So.
You would think, right? But the rush is really because we have additional space that we're coming up on that we have to commit to for the winter. And this will be the facility that we use in Highland Park and the facility that we use on Clark. And we have to commit in the next couple of weeks for those spaces. And what we don't want to do is be put in the position where we have to put a deposit down for those two spaces when this is a viable opportunity for us now. So it really is about funding and the cost associated with reserving the other spaces.
Before you told me that, I was going to vote to suspend the rules because Alderman Braithwaite threatened me earlier that it's not funny. It is really not funny. Comparing the expansion and retention of Autobarn in this city with the suspension of the rules on the Howard Hartree TIF that we were asking for tonight so that we can move forward with, it's an enormous project, and can compare in no way to the suspension of the rules for this. I realize everything is relative, but I'm just telling you, it is the only reason I'm voting to suspend the rules, because he has told me he will not suspend the rules on the Howard Hartree TIF. So that's the politics that's going on here. Very unfortunate, and believe me, I am a person who can forgive, but I won't forget this. So good luck. I think it's a great project. I'm really happy for you. I'm so glad that a building is getting reused. It's just too bad that certain people had to stoop to such depths to get this vote.
Thank you for your support.
Has nothing to do with you. Believe
Thank you for your support.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Alderman Holmes?
I would like to move that we would suspend the rules and move on this project tonight.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Well, there are a few more aldermen who are going to be voting on this, so we don't have to do that here. We do that at the council level.
That's fine.
Well, we
Okay.
make a recommendation from this committee to suspend the rules.
Right.
That's what I thought I was doing.
That's what I thought Alderman
Okay.
Holmes was doing, too.
That's what I thought I was doing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Recommending council.
Oh, and now we'll return to the main motion, which is to recommend to the council the approval. It was moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, now is P2. This is an ordinance 93-013, granting a special use for a Type 2 restaurant, Protein Bar, 1622 Sherman Avenue. Full approval.
Second.
Madam Mayor, I'll just ask Melissa Klotz to come up and give a brief staff report. Is the applicant present, Ms. Klotz? Is the applicant present?
Good evening, honorable members of the City Council. The proposed location is 1622 Sherman Avenue, and this is for a Type 2 restaurant protein bar. The site location is located in Sherman Plaza. It fronts Sherman Avenue, and it's the current location of Lululemon. The request is for Protein Bar, which is a Type 2 restaurant that will offer delivery service and primarily cater to the lunch crowd, but also be open for breakfast and early dinner. This type of business is part of the healthcare and wellness targeted industry cluster of the city. It is focusing primarily on healthy food and locally grown and produced food. The deliveries will mostly take place by bicycle, and it will be similar in intensity to a Jimmy John's sandwich shop. The applicant does plan to lease one parking space in the Sherman Plaza parking garage for the manager and will encourage many employees to utilize the public transportation that is nearby.
Okay. Thank you. Alderman Wilson?
All for the business, and at the request of a number of my constituents, just would like to encourage our economic development team to continue efforts to get Lululemon back in Evanston, because I've heard a lot of disappointment about the closure of that business. So, thanks.
Alderman Fisk?
Melissa, could you explain deliveries by bicycle? What are we?
The applicant may want to opine on this a little bit more, but the idea is that the type of food that will be served will be primarily wraps, so they can be packaged up fairly small and individually. So deliveries will utilize an employee that rides a bicycle to the nearby locations. So, for instance, if they were delivering to City of Evanston employees on a lunch hour, they would just hop on their bike, ride right over here.
Okay, so the bicycle is for deliveries out to, not deliveries,
Correct.
truck deliveries of...
No, truck deliveries would take
Supplies.
place through the Sherman Plaza loading dock.
Is the applicant present? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Matt Matros. I'm the founder and owner of Protein Bar. We have 12 locations open right now, 9 of which are in the Chicagoland area. We have another 3 in Washington, D.C. We opened in May of 2009. Our first location was across the street from Willis Tower. It was my entire life savings and some SBA loans that got that store open. We've since been funded through generous investment from customers, actually, literally customers I've gotten to know that have been intrigued with the business and wanted to get involved, and they've since funded our growth. Ever since day one, we've had a number of requests from customers through our website saying, guys, you got to open up on the North Shore. And we thought there would be no place better than that than the city of Evanston. We've been working with the Lululemon folks for about 1.5 years, actually. Of course, they're disappointed to be leaving Evanston as well, but for their concept, they do better in shopping malls. So they're moving over to Old Orchard. So we were very excited to be... But Protein Bar is coming in, so it's all... In terms of clientele, we serve a very similar clientele to Lululemon. In fact, many of our customers come in wearing Lululemon gear. Our menu is wraps, salads, burritos, protein shakes, juices. Everything on our menu is high in protein, high in fiber, low in refined sugars, and low in saturated fats. Our stores are mostly in the Loop right now, and we have stores open as early as 6:30 in the morning. I anticipate this store in Evanston will be 7 days a week. We'll be open probably around 7 a.m. We do a great breakfast crowd, and we'll stay open probably no later than 9. I would think 9 would probably be the latest we would stay open, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, we'll do probably 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Most of our business is going to be through walk-ups, so people who come in on foot. As Melissa mentioned, we will do a little bit of delivery, and it'll just be via bicycle.
Thank you very much. Alderman Fisk, did you have your light on again?
I wanted to say welcome to downtown. I know all about life savings and small business loans, so we're a club, and that's good. But I'm sure you'll do very well, and thank you for your commitment.
We're excited.
All right. I believe it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Is that it?
Not quite. It has to come to the city council. And
It's looking good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of us up here, so on the committee. So we just change places in a minute. So, but this sounds like a great concept.
But for tonight, that's it?
No.
The rest of the aldermen will come up.
Okay.
It's just for introduction. So
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Come back September 9th, too.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right. Next is item P3. This is approval of a 3-year extension of planned development at 1603 to 1629 Orrington Avenue. The staff recommends approval. All right. Would the staff like to discuss this with us? Yes.
The planned development in discussion is for 1603 to 1629 Orrington Avenue. This is on the corner of Orrington and Davis. The original planned development was approved in the late 60s, early 70s, and then a substantial amendment was approved in June of 2005 for major additions to the property. Since then, a number of extensions have been granted, primarily due to the decline of the market and the ongoing leasing needs for retail establishments. The applicant is now requesting a 3-year extension and plans to, within these 3 years, complete the entire retail build-out, which is primarily fronting Davis Street and is attached to the Rotunda building. Currently, all of the existing space on the property is either leased out or in advanced lease negotiations, and the applicants have made substantial improvements over the last number of years, including improvements with the underground parking facility.
Alderman Fisk?
I think my questions have been answered. Thanks.
Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye. All right. Any noes? Okay. All right. Now, the city manager has asked for time to introduce our new community development director.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, this is my last meeting staffing this fine committee. I'd like to introduce Mark Munzer, who is our new community development director. I'll give Mark a more complete introduction at the council, but Mark, if you just want to stand up and wave. Mark,
welcome.
Mark comes to us from the city of Chicago, and like I say, I'll give him a more complete introduction in a few minutes. But he'll be staffing the committee beginning on September 9th.
All right. Thank you. Welcome aboard. All right. That completes our items for discussions. Do I have a motion for adjournment? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. The city council will start in approximately 10 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, 10 minutes. We'll be back.